So we were very inward. We wanted so much to be out and to gather and to bring people in, but we were so inward. So some of the things we stopped doing was every Sunday after church, we have a potluck lunch in the fellowship hall. Every Sunday. And so we stopped doing it in our fellowship hall every Sunday. And also understand that 5 to 7 years ago, St. Martin is a very small community, 35 to 45 people. The kids we have are about 5 to 7 children. But we stopped doing lunch every Sunday in. We still do it twice a month in because the gathering is just really valuable and important for all of us to be together. But now, twice a month after church, we go out. And that might mean we go to restaurants as a group or different groups go to different restaurants, or we go to the park. We have beautiful parks right near us or whatever, but we go out. Or we might go into each other's homes and do it. And then Sunday school, instead of doing it every Sunday in, we decided not to do it at all on Sunday mornings in. And Sunday school now happens in homes, backyards, parks, and they don't always all happen on Sundays. So we have a bunch of different ones and people can go wherever they want to go. Instead of doing our monthly movie night, which we do once a month in our fellowship hall, we took it out and we provide a family movie night in the community somewhere out. Our shawl ministry, which meets at the church, it's really the only one that we had that met at the church. We didn't allow them to meet at the church anymore. They had their own little shawl ministry room. That was gone, and they have to meet in homes and outside of the church. Our offering that we take every Sunday morning, half of it now goes elsewhere, to designated places, or we give it wherever, but it doesn't all go to the church anymore. And the pastor-led high church, which we would call it because Brian wore robes and everything, which he doesn't do very often. Instead of doing that every week, once a month we do a lay-led worship. And it doesn't always happen in the sanctuary. Sometimes it happens in the parking lot, sometimes in the fellowship hall, but those are some of the things that we stopped.
I love it. Fantastic. Brian owes you one.
Thank you.
But you are fantastic, Michelle. I've had the privilege of really coaching Brian and Michelle over the last year and a half. And you guys are honestly incredible leaders. All of these things are fantastic. Here's the one question that kept resonating in my heart as you were sharing. Now, you don't have Brian here, so I know this is largely you just kind of trying to work through all this without a partnership. That's very difficult. The reason I write this up here is because for you and Brian, you've learned a ton of stuff. And so you will know how to help them change infrastructural stuff to begin to increase kind of that life together atmosphere. So a lot of the stuff that you're talking about is how do we help them get out of the church and do some of the things they've done before, but in a different context. And I think that's a very effective tool, by the way, for those of you interested. It's very effective to just change the context. That's why I say never do huddle at your church, ever. If you're doing it now, you still have time to change. The reason is because doing huddle at your church just continues to reinforce this is church, rather than doing it in your homes, in a coffee shop, wherever. So just something to think about. I would ask the question, how are you and Brian, if you're going to get to a place where church isn't defined by the walls of your church, the way that's going to begin is by you inviting them into a new lifestyle. And the way you do that is by inviting them into your life. Does that make sense? And so that would be the question I would have is if you're going to move in that direction, how do you and Brian simply let them begin to catch the things that you've been catching for a while? What does that look like? Is it huddle in your home? Is it leading dinners in your home? But the stress would be, how are you inviting people into your life? Because that's discipleship. Come follow us as we imitate the life and ministry of Jesus. Does that make sense? But I love the idea. This is the right track. I'm just going to kind of give a different emphasis that Brian may have given if he were here. Is that good? Dave, anything about it?
Yeah. These over here, when we first started talking about him before you put on the board, my guess would be that he's a little very inward focused now, they were started as outward-focused activities. So when you started the movies and the Sunday school teaching people and lunch after church, it was probably somebody's great idea for reaching people out there, and when they come, make them feel welcome and doing things more about the room. And so as you recast the vision, just understand that maybe these are great things, but maybe they become too inward focused. So as you recalibrate, getting people to understand the triangle, the up and out, and just becoming more balanced with it, and not just these are bad, and now we're starting these new things. You know, there's a great place for these things. They just are functioning as an inward, and we're not doing any out with it. So let's just balance that out and start some more out programs as well.
I like that. Very insightful. Anybody back? No? All right, let's get
Hey.
going.